So what's going on? I mean, just recently there was that one with Hertz suing for $32 million because of scope creep. So really, how do you solve scope creep? Well, I teach that in my course, but just briefly and really concisely, here's some quick tips that you can use to reduce your scope creep issues and plow through those projects a lot more confidently. So think of scope creep as a natural process. You know, you can't tell a kid stop growing. And I think that's an important concept to understand with scope creep. You don't want to tell the project, stop growing, stop adapting. The reality of this world is things need to adapt or they die. So your project is going to need to adapt or it could completely die and fail. And that's the reality of the situation. And the stakeholder or the sponsor or the client that is funding that project, they know that this is the reality. They're afraid that they're going to invest all this money in this project and it's going to completely die, it's going to completely fail. So what you need to do is be very clear on what this project is about. What problem are we solving with this project? What value are we creating for the world with this project? Get very clear on that value, and then break the project down into how are we going to deliver on that value. And now talk to your sponsor and make sure that you're both very clear on this is the value that we're here to deliver. And now you may need to double or triple your budget to take into consideration that projects grow. There are unpredictabilities that we cannot predict. The market is changing. The client may change their mind. The environment, the market conditions, the competition, everything is always changing. The longer that project takes, the more likely things are going to grow out of control. So take that into consideration and then take that project and break it down into small bite-sized chunks and make sure that each of those bite-sized chunks deliver value at each step, so that you're not going to be waiting for one full year to deliver on a huge project and then find out the whole thing just completely falls apart and there's no value delivered and everybody's pissed off and they're trying to sue you. So I hope that makes sense. There's a lot more I can go into. I deal with this heavily in my course, so definitely reach out to me if you're interested in this topic, and we can work out all the issues for your agency and come up with a plan so that you aren't running into all the scope creep issues. But hopefully this helps. So just in quick summary, make sure that you recognize that scope creep is a natural process. Projects do need to adapt or they die, and market changes and environment changes are natural. Things are changing all the time. You need to take that into consideration. So make sure that you take what they actually call it a contingency budget. Make sure you have a contingency budget set up so that when the project grows outside of scope, you've got an extra budget available for that. You are predicting that the project is going to grow a little bit, and that's okay. Just like kids grow up, projects grow up too. And then the next thing is break those projects into smaller chunks. Be clear, first of all, be clear about the value that you're trying to deliver, and then break it down into bite-sized chunks that deliver on that value. And that will really help you eliminate a lot of scope creep issues. So I hope that helps. This is Chris with Upscale Method, and let's talk soon. If you have any other issues, if you want to go over your particular issues at your agency, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.